Hi YouTube. I'm here today with my super exciting review. This is The Good and the Beautiful History Year 1. And I have been looking at this curriculum and thinking about this forever. And I had made up in my mind that we weren't going to start until next school year. But then it came in the mail and we opened it up and we looked at it and we're going to start on Monday. So we are really, really excited about this. I'm going to try and do a really comprehensive review. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions or you want to kind of see how things are laid out. So I want to try and go through as many of those details as I can. So if you want a super quick review, this won't be it, but maybe we'll do just a quick overview at some point too. But I'm going to really try and answer a lot of your questions. So this curriculum is from The Good and the Beautiful. They originally started off with language arts and now they have history and science. They'll be releasing math starting with the kindergarten level here in just another month or so. They have typing and handwriting, and it's just great. Almost everything we do next year is going to be from The Good and the Beautiful. So I'm really, really excited about this. I'm going to show you a couple of things. First of all, we're keeping our history in one of the bins that everybody likes. I've just put a vinyl decal on the front of mine. We have one for history, one for the current science unit that we're working through, and then each of my kiddos has their own bin for their language arts and handwriting and math and all of that kind of stuff. And people like them because they have this little tray in the top where you can keep extra supplies. Right now I have our first read aloud and then my little bookmark. I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to show you this later. And then you can put all of your stuff in your bin, so everything is all together. With The Good and the Beautiful, you always have three kind of package options when you're purchasing curriculum. You can buy just the PDF. You can print everything that you want as you want it. You can go have it bound. You can print it in color. You can print it in black and white, whatever you want to do. You can buy just the PDF. You can buy just the physical course that they will mail to you, or you can buy both together if you want that added benefit of having the PDF if you have multiple kiddos and you want to be able to print worksheets and stuff like that. That's the option that I have, is the physical copy with the PDF. So with the physical copy, you get three things. And I'm going to kind of try and go through each of them and then we'll talk about them. You are going to get, actually not that. You're going to get, the first thing is the course book. This is the year 1 course book. This is all in black and white. This is spiral bound, and this has everything that you need, all of your lessons. There's activities in here to do with your kids. All of that stuff is included in the course book. Then also with year 1, you get, this is the big book of history stories. This is a compilation of, I think it's like 30 different books. I should have looked it up before I started. And these are all different stories, and I'm just going to show you a couple of these. There's a sample on their website that you can read several of the different stories, and you can kind of see they have differing artwork. That one's in color. This one is cool black and white, like pencil sketches. This one has kind of painting type American history in here. This is the nice glossy super high quality pages. When we first got this, I kind of just sat down by my son on the couch and he was playing video games and I was just looking through all of this stuff because I'm a curriculum junkie. And he kept leaning over and he's like, what's that story? What's that story? What's that story? So we looked through this a little bit already. That comes with it. And then the third thing that you're going to get is the Keys of History board game. We haven't even opened this up yet because I knew they would just play it forever. So I didn't want to open it until we were ready to use it. But this game comes with it. This is an optional thing from what I've heard, but it just kind of helps to reinforce those things that you are learning. And so it's listed in the course manual several times where you're going to play the game. So they're excited to open that up. So those are the three actual physical things that you are going to get. Then, even if you get the physical copy, you're going to get two downloads. You're going to get the Student Explorers. This history curriculum is designed to be 1st through 12th grade. You can do this with all of your kiddos at any stage. What helps solidify each grade level is the Student Explorers. There are 4 levels. There's 1st through 3rd grade, 4th through 6th, 7th through 9th, and 10th through 12th. So that's just going to give those extension activities to your older kiddos. You're going to work through everything together in the course book and the big book of history stories, and then everybody can kind of go do their own level for that extension work that you need for your older kiddos. And that's one thing that I love about The Good and the Beautiful with history and science both, is it's meant to be done family style. We have 4 kids, 2 of which are school age, and then I have 2 little ones that kind of just hang out with us during the day. And being able to do everything together is just so beneficial in terms of just how our day flows and how things go. And if you haven't done it before, I think you'll really like doing it family style instead of trying to tailor everything to each kid. There was a homeschool conference speaker that I heard a few years ago, right when I very first started homeschooling, and she talked about it being like all of your kids are on the school bus and you drive so far together and you do your basic stuff together, but then you let each kid off at the appropriate stop. So you have a first or a second grader, and maybe all they're going to do is color while you do the read aloud. So that's their stop. They're off the bus. They can go and do their thing. They're done. And then you take your 6th grader a little further on down the road, bump it up a little bit more for them, and then your high schooler, and so on and so forth. So family style is just fantastic, and it's really what we have transitioned to over the last year or so now that I have more than 1 kid in school. So anyway, these are the Student Explorers. This is 2 complete sets because I will have a 1st grader and a 3rd grader next year, so they have the same Student Explorers. These are different map activities. There are coloring pages in here. There's one thing that my son was already looking at was they have to write their name in Egyptian hieroglyphics with the little symbols. And so just to kind of help emphasize some of those different activities. So this PDF will come with the physical copy, or obviously if you get the PDFs, it will be included. So you can print as many of those as you need. The other thing that you're gonna get, I'm gonna set that up there, is audio stories. And there is a link in your course book for that so that you can get the audio stories that are played throughout the course. And all I did was I went in on my phone, which is being used to film this, so I can't show you, but I just went in, got the link, saved it to my desktop, so all I have to do is click it. We can open it up wherever we are and listen to our audio stories for that day. So we are really excited about that too. It just kind of gives it a different flavor. Sometimes it's nice to have someone other than mom reading things to them. So the audio stories are really cool. We listened to a couple of them just to kind of get started. I'm just glancing at my notes because, like I said, I want to tell you as many things as I can and not miss anything. The Good and the Beautiful is a 4-year history cycle, but the difference is, and this is one of my favorite things about it, even though we haven't even started it, but that I'm really excited about, is you go from ancient to current every year. So instead of spending 1 year in the Old Testament and then 1 year in the Middle Ages and however your current study works through that, you're going all the way from creation to current every year. And then each year as you go through, you're going to stop and focus on a different chunk of time. So you're reviewing those things every year, and then 1 year you're going to focus more on American history, 1 year you're going to focus more on ancient history. So lesson number 1 is creation. And then lesson number 60 is the fall of communism. So in 60 lessons, you're going all the way from the beginning to about the mid 1980s or so. So that's one thing that we are really, really excited about that. There are 4 units, and each unit has a read aloud. The one for unit 1 is the Golden Goblet, and I know there's kind of always some back and forth on that one, and it looked a little bit deep for my kids. So we, for unit 1, are gonna do Boy of the Pyramids. This is one that I actually found the PDF book, and so we kind of made our own little booklet, but there is a read aloud for each unit. Those are included in there, and there's several different suggestions depending on the age of kids that you have and that kind of thing. This is meant to be done 2 to 3 times a week, and it looks like, and I think it's probably pretty accurate, that you're going to spend about an hour on each lesson. That includes your coursework time. That includes if you have an audio file to listen to. It includes about 20 minutes from your read aloud every day, so you can kind of figure out how that's going to work for your family. There are 60 lessons in the course book. There is a table of contents. There is part of the table of contents that you can look at if you look at this online. one thing I love about The Good and the Beautiful is they have lots of samples and lots of pages. It's not just one or two, but you can really kind of get a feel for how the lessons are. So there are 60. There are a few lessons in here. There's actually 6 of them that are recommended to skip if you have 3rd grade and under or 4th grade and under students, just because they might be a little bit not as exciting, or the topics might be a little bit heavy. So if you think about that, so if there's 60 lessons, we're going to skip probably 6 of them with my kiddos next year. So we really only need to do 54 lessons. So we do history 2 times a week, and then we do science our other 2 days a week. So that's it for lessons. Okay, this is what I'm going to show you a little bit in the course book. This is what I've done. I've had this for less than a week, and I've already been through the whole book like 3 times, just looking over stuff because I like to, and it's exciting and fun. So when you start the course, and again, you can look through some of this on the sample download, but I won't show you everything because this would be my copy here. It gives you lots of suggestions about what you need to teach each day, the length of the lessons, when to play the board game. If you have kids in kindergarten, you can give them like the year 1 through 3 History Explorer if you want, or they can just kind of tag along at their own speed. It's really recommended that if you're looking at your oldest kid, to start history at 1st or 2nd grade. You don't need to start history as a kindergartner. There's also memorization in here. Lots of really cool memorization things. It tells you how and when to use them. So you're going to practice memorization every couple of days. And they're just things that most kids should know. And it gives you a list until you can pick the order. You can do it with your kids, or you can find other things. Here is the read aloud suggestions by unit. So again, there's different options for each grade level. I have all elementary age kids, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. But if you have a wider range of kids, you might want to do something different. So this is then when I started looking through each lesson, there's so many different things to do, but it all flows really well together. You might read something, work on a little bit of memorization, then you might read a story out of the Big Book of History Stories, or listen to an audio file, and it's all laid out and it's all done for you. It's all the things that I wanted in the history curriculums that I looked at in the past, but it wasn't laid out for me. I had the basis of it for the other curriculums that we've used, but then I felt like I was pulling all of those things, and then I was spending all of my time finding stuff and not spending time doing it with my kids. This is all done. It's just there, and that's what I love. But I wanted a way to quickly be able to glance at my lessons and see what we needed. So what I did, this is a good example. This is lessons 2 and 3. So all of this is in black and white. It's super nice, super easy to read. It's broken up easily, but I wanted to quickly glance. So you'll notice that there's some highlighting on mine. I know, I highlighted in my book, but I'm okay with that. I know some people get really uptight about it if you're gonna resell it and stuff, but I have my curriculum so that we can use it. So I'm gonna make it easy for me. So what I did was, as I was looking through here, I created this little like bookmark, okay? And I will probably link this on my site so that you can download this. So I have the bookmark, and I just made all of the main activity topics. So there's the Big Book of History Stories, which is included in your copy, the Student Explorers, the audio recordings, the Keys of History board game, the map activity, the extra items needed, and the activities that I want to print or cut out for my PDF. So those are the main 7 categories. Then I took my highlighters, which we're going to grab. Do you know where my highlighters are in my thing? Okay, we grabbed our highlighters. So I made this little bookmark, and then I grabbed my set. These are the Sharpie liquid highlighters, and there's a ton of different colors. I'll throw a link to these down below if you want to see which ones. And I like them because they don't bleed through the pages. So I went and picked 7 colors. I highlighted my bookmark in the colors that I was going to use. I laminated my bookmark because why wouldn't you laminate things if you have the opportunity? And then as I was looking through my lessons, I just highlighted in the corresponding color, Student Explorer, Keys of History game, audio recording. Then, a few pages later, here's a map activity that we're going to use. So I highlighted that in blue. And this did not bleed through. There might be a few spots if you really try and look. Here's another one, extra items that you need. So for this one, you need a tube of toothpaste and a toothbrush. Maybe we can teach oral hygiene while we teach history. We're going to read a book from the Big Book of History Stories. So this just helps me. You obviously totally don't need to do this, but I like to just be able to see really quickly at a glance what things I'm going to need to grab that day. And like I said, most everything will be in our bin, but then we can go grab our tube of toothpaste and a toothbrush if we need to. So I spent some time doing that and going through highlighting and stuff like that. There are a few things, for example, here in lesson 11, you're talking about different things that they used in ancient Egypt. And so there's kind of a matching activity. So you can either copy this page. If you don't want to cut this out of here, if you do want to keep your course book intact, you can copy this, or that's where having the PDF comes in really handy. I can just hop on my computer, print this, and have it done. And so that's part of what I highlighted when I highlighted my little purple things. That's a reminder to myself that I want to print something out of the course book and then be able to have it prepared for that lesson. So I have to decide if I'm going to keep all of those little pieces and try and keep them for 4 years from now, or if I'm just going to print those and be done with it. I could take, if I want to keep all of those, and put them in one of these little clear plastic envelopes, just put all the little extra information in there, and then we can just throw it in our tub, and then it will be all together. So we'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. Like I said, we haven't even started this. We just are looking at what we have so far, and we're going to start it on Monday. So I will do another kind of follow-up video once we've been doing this for a couple weeks and let you know how it's working for us, and if we've made any tweaks to the schedule or anything like that. On the 4-year history cycle with the Good and the Beautiful, there are a few differences. They kind of want to change things up, and that's part of what I like about the Good and the Beautiful, is that things are always just a little bit different, so it doesn't get super monotonous for your kids. So year 1 has the Big Book of History Stories, like I showed you. And again, this is one of those things that it's just, for the price, you can't print. I can't print stuff like this. I don't know what kind of printer you have, but there's no way I can print this and have it spiral bound and everything for the cost. But this comes with year 1. Year 2 has timeline work included in it. Then I think year 3, they're going to go back to the Big Book of History Stories. So there's just some different things to kind of have, each year kind of has its own flavor and its own feel. So that's an overview. Hopefully I answered some of the questions that you have. If you have other questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will answer them. You can always get any of the 3 options. You can purchase just the PDF. You can purchase the physical copy that they will mail to you, or you can get the combination. It's just a few bucks more if you want to just have those PDFs and not have to worry about, copying out of your book or cutting things out of your book or that kind of thing. You're going to print your own Student Explorers for your kids as you need them. You're going to use the audio recordings that are included with it. You're going to get the read alouds. I believe you can buy the read aloud packs if you want to get the recommended book, the highly recommended book from each level. You can buy a read aloud pack from the Good and the Beautiful. If you want to pick your own, you can obviously do that as well. So we're keeping all of our things in our tub so that we can do those together family style. We can just grab the whole thing and be ready to go. So again, let me know if you have questions. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope I answered some of those questions that people are kind of wondering about, or you can kind of see our setup. And we will update as we continue to journey through this. We just switched both of my kiddos to Good and the Beautiful Language Arts. And so we will do a quick update on those as well, so you can see the courses that they're using there. So I'm just super excited. We've been on spring break and we head back to school on Monday, and I feel like we had a good break, and I am ready and excited to go back to school. And that is something that doesn't always happen. So we're just going to jump in with both feet, switching over to the Good and the Beautiful, and we'll let you know how it goes. But thanks for watching. Happy homeschooling. Have a good day.